No, I know you couldn't. All right, welcome back to the Opie and Anthony Show. Wow, it just got very busy in here. You got you got me and Ant. You got Jim Norton. You got Judah Friedlander from 30 Rock, our pal, stopping in
man?
to say hi. And then, of course, you got Anvil in studio. Yes, Lips. And I said Robo, but he said, hey, Rob. I mean, Robbo. I'm sorry.
Robbo,
I keep saying Robo. It's Robb Reiner.
That's right, with 2 B's.
With 2 B's. Rob with 2 B's. And we got the director of the film, Anvil. I don't think, did we?
I don't think we met. I'm Sacha.
Sacha. Yeah, I think we did meet, but I don't remember you tell me your name. That's all. So, Sacha.
The director.
His mic doesn't sound like it's...
Is it on?
Hello? Is that on?
So you guys doing a lot of press so far to
give him
promote
wireless
this?
or so.
Yeah, about a year and a half of it already.
Oh, you really? Because you got good reviews in the like we were looking at Rotten Tomatoes, the website where they and it's like 97% positive reviews, which is unheard of. You don't get that at all with especially with a documentary.
This is what they tell us.
So we've been all like overwhelmed. It's been unbelievable. Like I think Slumdog is the other movie that's been similarly well reviewed. So
that was only because that was in the comedy.
Yeah.
Slumdog, it is a musical. Come on, man.
Good. Here's mud in your eye, or lead.
The movie was really amazing. It really was. I'm a music guy. I got to be completely honest with you. I didn't know much about Anvil until this documentary. I just didn't know.
Along with the rest of America.
Yeah, well,
Apparently that's why there's a documentary.
Right, exactly.
Hence the documentary. But it starts off with some pretty powerful guys.
That's right.
Talking about Anvil and how they influenced their band.
It's like an underground band, like a lot of those guys the people who know Anvil's maybe from that period is maybe just a few hundred people. It just so happens that those people were people like Lars Ulrich and Slash. And so that core group of Anvil fans from back in the day just went on to become, some of these musicians.
You know what, this kind of is interesting because it kind of shows what happens when a band doesn't get that commercial success that the core audience goes, oh, this fucking guy's sold out.
Right.
I don't listen to them anymore. Fuck them. Their first album was great, and they just sold out for the fans. And this kind of shows what happens when that doesn't happen. And it kind of sucks, I guess. I guess you'd rather be the one that they go, hey,
not necessarily.
sold out.
Survey says.
Really? You wouldn't rather have the core fans going, they sold out?
No,
even though you feel you didn't?
Let's get this straight. Anvil's been extremely successful on the level that we've been underground sensations for 30 years. We never did anything to sell out,
albums,
nor did we
years.
ever want to sell out. And this movie is a testament to that fact.
The thing is, I don't mean selling out literally, because a lot of the core audience of bands that make it say that they sold out because now they have a much wider fan base.
That's right.
So the bands like Metallica is a perfect example.
Exactly. Or Weezer, even. Like bands where the original fan base becomes alienated. That's right.
Fuck them, they sold out. It's like, yeah, well, they wanted to play in front of more than 100 people. Maybe their whole goal was to get out there, obviously play the music because they enjoy it, but I think a large percentage of the bands out there like being successful in front of a lot of people, regardless of the finance and the money's great and everything like that, but just the fact that you want to go out there and present your music in front of as many people as you can, I think that is something you want to do as a band.
Well, people said Metallica sold out when they did the Black, like they did the Black Album, which had Enter Sandman on it. And if it wasn't a commercial success, nobody would have thought they sold out. But people will say a band sold out just because other people like them. It has nothing to do with the artist changing what they do.
Out.
It's just the hardcores going, they must have sold out because a lot of people like them now. It's just
it was amazing for me because I was a fan of the band. I mean, I directed the movie, but when I was 15, I met them in London, and I was just like blown away with these guys. They were like about to burst wide. I saw them on the bill with like Judas Priest and Saxon at the Donington Festival in '82, right? So Anvil were the second coming. I don't know if you guys know this, but Scott Ian says this, quite a lot. Anthrax started as an Anvil cover band. Like when Metal on Metal came out, I mean, you can ask Scott about this. When Metal on Metal came out, Lars took this album in and was like, we need to sound like that. Like Anvil were the bar by which all those other bands kind of judged. And what was interesting was being a kid and seeing them about to explode and then seeing it kind of not happen as you described. You know, what was amazing connecting with them 20 years ago was the complete lack of bitterness from these guys. Like, hey, you know what? Metallica are in the movie, like Lars and Slash and Scott Ian and Tom Araya from Slayer, and they're all going, like, what an amazing band Anvil was and how influential. And here they are, and they're like, and what was amazing when I met up with Lips again was, like, he was pleased, right? He was, and he still believed that Anvil's time would come as well. So that was what was amazing, was like, even though, as you say, they didn't break wide like those bands, you know, here they are now. And the great satisfaction of what's happened since the movie is I saw them at Donington playing 62,000 people. Like, this was like in the early 80s, right? 27 years later, man, they've been booked again for the same festival. This summer they're playing it.
Do you guys have any, like, is there any annoyance from you guys at, you can't, like, all of a sudden take somebody and put them where you want them to be, even if you like the band. But like Metallica or other bands, like they could bring you on the road with them, or they could put you as a support act with them. Is there any bitterness, or is there any reason that doesn't happen?
Well, it's
political. You know, it's all political. That's the only reason. You know, it's not just as easy. The guys in the band might want you to be on the show, but there's lots of other things involved.
Promoters and
managers and all the stuff that makes that happen anyway. So.
It seems like a no-brainer, though. If these guys really were influenced by it, they throw you a little bone and say, hey.
But now it's kind of beginning to happen. We can't sort of
because of the movie and all that.
Right.
But that's great, but it's been 36 years that these guys have been trying to get to the next level.
That's true.
And I just want to ask the band, like, you guys obviously were braced to go to that next level. In your opinion, why didn't you?
Simply... we didn't have the right machine behind us. You know, we had a manager that left us out to dry at the time, and record companies just weren't there to support us, so we had to keep the thing going ourselves all these years.
I mean, like all those big bands, man, there's like a window, right, which a band has, and you got to like shoot for it. And if you miss it, man, you can pay for that for 25 years.
Wow, yeah.
And I think there was like a window where they got, I think Rob was right, like as I researched the movie, I discovered they got signed by this incredibly huge manager, this guy David Krebs, who at the time he managed Scorpions, Bon Jovi, AC/DC, and Aerosmith, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, you guys shouldn't be doing this hard and fast music, man. You guys should be sounding like Bon Jovi. And so, you know, they're 23 years old, man, and like the biggest manager in the world's telling them, you know, so I think that there was this tiny window, and maybe, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I think that moment was crucial. But the best part of it is, like, it's coming around again for them. That's the best part, like, what's happening now.
I got to... go ahead, Jim. Lips, I wanted to ask Lip, if there's one decision that you could make differently, like, we all have them creatively, is there anything that you go, you know what, instead of left, I would have went right at that point with hindsight?
No, because if anything was any different than it would, there wouldn't be this movie. So, no, I wouldn't change a damn thing.
But don't you see it as being either the movie or you would have been hugely successful?
No.
No?
Well, it played itself out the way it was supposed
Yeah, well,
to be.
obviously it's going to be...
There is no changing it.
But you know what? But you
What's
did
the
tell me,
point?
Lips. You did tell me. He did say this one thing. He said, if we'd made it back then, we would have just blown it. Like he said to me, we were so young, we would have had a hit album, we would have all got on coke, married playmates, and not be speaking to each other within a year, and then it would be over.
Or dead. Who the fuck knows if you don't overdose?
That's right. I mean, because most of those bands that break big and like they don't necessarily last, man. One or two
true,
albums. I mean,
Well, the story absolutely has a happy ending, or not necessarily an ending, but it's hard to believe that you really thought that, Lips, like 5 years ago when you guys were still trying to make something happen, that it was going to end like this.
Right, like with
the documentary that's a huge hit. You know what I mean?
Well, one thing I like about the documentary is it showed some really depressing moments too, which was playing in front of a small, I mean, I do stand-up, so I've done it in front of small groups
Depressing
before.
moments and frustration.
It's very
a lot of
frustrating.
frustration. That's why it's hard to think that.
I mean, it's like
this was how it was supposed to play.
Well,
out.
that was I mean, listen, dude. When I went to speak to the guys and I sat down, I want to make a movie. I was like, it's got to be honest, man. It's got to show it for what it really is.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like some fans like movie about how great their favorite band was from 25 years ago.
Right,
This is like, what does it mean 25 years later to not have made it like the other bands and still be pursuing this thing with the same passion and belief, right? Some people would call that completely insane.
Yeah.
But you
I
know
have
what? People are loving it, right?
I have a question, though. I mean, did you guys get into it for the fame, or you just get into it because you love music,
I'm in it for really the music,
Yeah.
the fame.
Yeah, because I do
fun.
stand-up comedy, too.
This is all fun.
And if
I feel
anyone tells you it's like sometimes, I'm sure, Norton, same things happen to you. People come up to you and they're like, hey, I'm thinking about becoming a stand-up comedian. I'm like, well, if you're thinking about it, you shouldn't fucking do it, because you should have a deep passion and love for it. Otherwise,
this is
there's so
all
much
about love and
bullshit in the
passion here.
business. You gotta love what you're doing. So,
Yeah, and we do.
My next question is, did you guys ever listen to your managers that wanted you to sound like Bon Jovi and stuff like that?
Absolutely not.
Awesome.
You know, we're Anvil and we're focused on our style and everything.
Sweet.
You know, we ended up pioneering this whole thing that was innocently done by us. You know, we were just having fun and doing what we love. You know?
Who's your biggest influence, or the band that you wanted to be the most? Or who did you look up to the most at that time? Was it Sabbath?
Yeah, we love. Yeah, of course, Sabbath, Deep Purple,
Cactus.
you know, Cream. We're old school rockers.
When you look at someone like the first thing I saw some clips of you guys, they were showing the old '82 clips from the festival, and it just for some reason the first thing I thought was Venom. I don't know, you didn't really sound like them, but there was something about the physical. You just looked like Venom. It just reminded me physically of them, and I'm like, well, this is a band from the same era, probably around longer than Venom was. And it was like, what's the difference between that? Like, why did they get to where they are, and then you guys hit something, and then just kind of stopped? Like, there must have been a couple of things, like you said, bad management.
Yeah, that's really the only thing. That was the timing of everything.
But it's like Lemmy says in the movie, man, you've got to be at the right place at the right time or you'll never do it. That's what he says. There is a huge amount of luck. There's a huge amount of having this moment, which if you don't get what the moment is, it can pass you by. Right.
I can understand being in your 20s and stuff and you're playing fucking just shit gigs. There's 10 people in the club. The club owner's a douchebag. I mean,
sure. Do you remember the scene where they get paid in goulash?
Yeah. You don't even have like.
Bad. I'd take that.
Yeah,
it was bad goulash, dude.
I mean, but you do reach a point. I remember being in bands, and my brother would be like, "No, we got to play the fucking gig, man. You got to pay your dues. You got to do this." And in your 20s, that's one thing. But after a while, it became like I was just like, Joe, fuck this. I don't want to play in front of 10 fucking people anymore. You know, you're humping your own equipment in the snow.
That's
the
right.
other band that with the 5 other bands steals your hand truck. Now you're fucking humping your own shit in the snow. It sucked. It was like, fuck this shit. What made you keep doing that? Because
that answers the question, dude, because why would you do that?
I know, because you really wanted...
Because you love what you do so much that you don't give a shit.
You know, as you with your friends... You're with your friends, your bandmates, you're having a fucking pisser. When you're playing, it is great. And you did occasionally get those gigs where it was like fucking, packed, and it was a lot of fun. But just the depressing fucking driving up to the club and going, oh, great, the parking lot's empty. No, it's a late crowd, man. I hear this club, it's a late fucking crowd. And then, what time do they fucking come in? Or the band that's on before you chases everyone the fuck out.
That's right.
With the fucking,
and then they leave. We've seen that
dude,
many times.
I was there, but this was in my 20s and shit, and I understand.
Right.
Believe me,
you should have.
I know exactly what the fuck. I could
you.
not imagine.
It could be 97% on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
Into my 40s and shit. I would have lost my fucking mind.
You had a happy ending waiting to happen.
Yeah, this motherfucker came and got me out of that. Got me in the radio thing.
But dude, that was the amazing thing,
dude. Documentary.
Me and my crew are standing there. They're in Transylvania playing to 7 fucking people, right?
Yeah,
but wait, hold on.
But
the attitude is not like as you described, as anyone would expect it to be. The attitude is, fuck it, man. There's 7 people there, and we are going to give them the night of their motherfucking lives. And that was what it was. Anvil gave the same show as they did to a stadium in Japan to those 7 people in Transylvania. That's why we made the movie. If they were all pissed off about it, it's like, who gives a fuck?
That makes a great point, because we used to do this thing, like if we drove up and we just noticed the parking lot was fucking empty, the guy driving would take the car horn and just go nah, 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 as like an acknowledgement that at least we passed by the club, and we just keep going.
Dude, I remember being at one.
I'm going home.
When I toured with them, like 83 or 84, they were playing this show, the club Uncle Sam's on the border between America and Canada. Okay, there was one dude there. His name was Mad Dog. He was their fan who'd driven up, right? And they said, "Fuck it," and they just rocked him for an hour and a half.
Personal
so I'm
show.
a roadie, and I'm watching. They're sitting there with Mad Dog in a chair,
That's
right,
great,
for
man.
a full hour and a half. And that's like, this is why this band has inspired so much loyalty from their fans and from people like me, right?
Yeah.
Like, why am I going to go and make some crazy movie about it? It's because of that.
Well, at the beginning, you do that and put up with it, and you do think, all right, I'm paying my dues, man. I got to play to nobody and do this. And then eventually, you play in front of the right people. You do this, like you said, the timing, management. But when that just continuously doesn't happen and becomes so frustrating.
Listen, I can summarize it all in one simple thing here. We always believed that one day we would be discovered.
Right.
and we just kept rocking and sticking at it and giving our best, making the best music. 10 people, 1,000 people, it's all one big rock and roll fun for us. Listen, FUN, the best religion in the world, and we subscribe to it.
What is your relation? Because you guys in the documentary, I mean, I guess you're like brothers. You bicker. I mean, it happens. It's what is
seldom.
Yeah, is it?
Wow, come on, dude.
Is it one of those things?
I filmed 3 of them.
I feel like there might be something going on in front of our faces right now.
Yeah,
I think someone has to. I think someone has to mention.
I
it.
know.
That's why.
Someone has to mention. Lips seems a little bothered by
Lips
something.
is asleep.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
Dude,
us, if it's Rob.
He's not. He hasn't been up since 1982.
Right, okay.
Early, that's why.
Yeah, this is
But
early.
there
You
is
got to wake up, dude. You're on the radio.
There is a little
it is
tension
early.
between the two guys in the film, and I'm wondering if that tension is with us today.
No, it's not.
No, I'm half
come on.
asleep.
All right, Lips.
No, listen, we're brothers, and Sacha happened to be extremely lucky that he captured a couple of things on film. We've only had our differences, maybe 6 of them in our whole friendship.
We filmed 3.
Yeah.
It's a good hit, right?
Yeah.
So the documentary, it really was great. I mean, it was again, like you said, it was very honest, and it was really, as a performer, you're watching performers who really want it badly. Like that's what was kind of cool about it. It was like you see guys who want it so badly, and it just started to annoy me that other bands, like I know that there's management involved, but Metallica's in a position, as is Motorhead, as is a lot of bigger, well, they could go, hey man, we want these guys as support. We have 3 of us, so we're going to go out, Metallica, Godsmack, and we'd like Anvil as our first.
I guess that's
support
happening
act.
now. I mean,
That's
it's
all
I
happening
know
now.
like you
Yeah,
guys
you
feel
could
like
definitely
it should have
see
been
it.
happening in the lean years, but it just stuff happens, man. Like if you're off the radar, like the promoters, this is not sexy package. Anvil, what have they done? I mean, that probably happened, but I think their heart was in the right places. All I can tell you is this: when the news came out that we were going to make this film, I thought it was going to be really hard to get these guys. They were lining up, literally. Like Lemmy was like, dude, thank God, because Anvil had toured with them in '83 on the Another Perfect Day tour in the UK. I'd been at all those shows with those boys, and like they kind of never forgot that period, right? Similarly, Slash, right? When Slash was at Sundance, he jammed with us, right? As he was about to go on the stage, he turns to me and he goes, dude, I've got goosebumps, man. I'm going to go and play with Lips. And I'm like, what? This is Slash, man. So it's like, it's this weird thing where finally it's changing. But I think at that time, I agree with you, man. It would have been nice if it had been possible for that to happen. For whatever reasons, it didn't, but it's now starting to.
That's such an irony if you actually start touring like this, and get these people and get that playing in front of the huge crowds and that fame based on a film about how you didn't make it.
But the film came from
paradox. Of,
but the film was made by a music fan who loved the music. So
Right,
it all comes back to the music.
What
right?
about Ozfest? I mean, even though they're kind of, I don't know if Ozfest is going to keep going. The festivals have, I guess, been having harder times getting people there. But Ozfest has been. Would you guys do a festival like that? Where you
Sure. Actually, we were asked to do it last year, but timing was, Ozzy fell in love with our movie. He's obsessed-
Ozzy got the
obsessed
movie
with
on Friday. By Sunday, he'd watched it 4 times.
Oh, really?
It's like
Yeah, he's obsessed
completely-
with, he's
Really?
obsessed with
Great.
the
Just
story.
didn't want to
He
get up to
offered-
find the remote.
Yeah, he couldn't.
That's
It was like
Ozzy couldn't.
it was like hit repeat, and he
Yeah.
couldn't move. It was like
Okay.
medical.
Yeah, but he asked us to do it last year, but had already other gigs.
So what? So Ozzy, that certainly helps if Ozzy likes it. What do you think he'd bring you guys out as support? Because him and Zombie go out like every couple of years.
Anything's possible right now, I think.
I mean, they're talking about them for Glastonbury, which is
that?
like, Glastonbury Festival is this festival in England that's like 200,000 people in the summer, but it's different types of bands. So it's like Springsteen and Neil Young. So they would be representing metal.
And are you guys working with the? There was a scene where there's a producer who had done one of the albums years and years and years before, who you liked a lot. He actually looked like Geezer Butler back in the day, and then you went and got him again, and the production is the obvious difference. The guy was a good producer. Do you guys want to work with him again, or do you have any?
Yes, we'd like to. Our new album is going to be called Juggernaut of Justice, and we just got to record it.
You haven't started yet?
We haven't recorded, but the album's written and stuff, and we're hoping to do it again with Chris.
When did the documentary stop filming? Because how long ago did you guys stop filming it?
Very end of 07, and then we debuted at Sundance 08. And then the thing we've been doing for the last year is this thing called the Anvil Experience, where we show the movie, and then the band comes right out and plays in the movie theater 3 songs, and people are like,
right on, man.
Yeah,
and it's like people are like, they fall in love with these guys, and then they come and play, and then it's like it's pretty surreal, man.
That's a very cool idea.
And we're doing it at the
Yeah.
Blender Theater here in New York on the 6th, and then they're touring the country doing the Anvil Experience, right?
Your
family's-
metal Beatlemania, really.
Yeah, is what your families must be psyched that you're finally getting some exposure and fame and more money coming in, right?
I don't know. Well, they're all very happy with what's going on.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Rob, this is it your? I know it's not your sister's. Is it your sister who's in this one where you're married, right?
Absolutely.
Your sister and your wife, and your wife is kind of. I think that I kind of want the rock star lifestyle too. I'm hoping, and your sister is kind of like, why don't they just realize it's over? Like your sister is pretty pissed off. Did that? Or not pissed off, but pretty down about the whole thing. Were you bothered when you saw that?
No, not really, because that's where she's at in her life.
Oh, you guys have a good relationship or no?
I don't really speak with her that often.
Oh, you don't speak with her that often? Because I saw that. I was actually think that was cool that you guys left that in.
Yeah.
You didn't edit that to make it prettier. You just showed a family member saying something kind of shitty.
That was the rule right from the beginning. It was like, you know what, we're going to show how it is.
Right.
We're going to like the warts and all. This is how it is, right? And that was the thing. And I said to them at the beginning, I said, look, guys, you got to realize you're really fucking funny. Like, you play your guitar with a dildo. Your name is Robb Reiner, okay? Like, we're going to have some fun here, and you got to be open to that.
Yeah.
So I was really, like, explicit about what it was going to be. And they were just, I mean, it's a testament to them. They were like, cool, whatever. Like, we're 53. You want to make a movie? Fuck it. Do what you want.
You must have dealt with the similarities with Spinal Tap,
Absolutely.
of course, which was, and some of the similarities are
It's unbelievable.
stunningly amazing.
I mean, I would be shooting my cameraman. I mean, I'll tell you one story. The second day of filming, we're in Prague, right? And my cameraman, this guy Chris Seuss, locks me in a hotel room, and he has this look on his face, like he's going to tell me he's dying of cancer or his parents have been killed or something. And he turns to me and he goes, "You are not leaving this room until you tell me the truth. I need to know, are they actors?" My own crew, crew did not believe. You got to understand. That night we've been at the Monsters of Transylvania rock festival, right,
Yeah.
from near Dracula's castle. He's doing a drum solo. He's doing White Rhino. There's 174 like Romanian peasants, right, in a hall that seats 10,000. He runs off stage. Lips runs off stage, collapses behind a wall of Marshall amplifiers, right, in agony. I thought he'd had some kind of like spinal seizure, right? Turns out he'd sung so hard his hemorrhoids had popped out during the drum solo, right? So I'm like, my cameraman could not film. My cameraman was incapable of holding a camera. So I turn around. He's on his fucking back with his legs in the air. He's laughing so hard, no sound is coming out. And I'm like, I'm on fucking acid, dude. I'm at Monsters of Transylvania, and like Lips, his hemorrhoids popped out during White Rhino. It's like
Do you know
what
Tap
I mean?
moment.
Yeah.
It's
Sure.
like you could never write that.
no.
That's somebody who belts out
And
a
that's
tune,
what it was
too.
like every day on this movie. It was like, as shit would be going wrong, as you see on the tour, I would be looking up to heaven going, thank you, God.
Yeah.
Thank you, God.
Yeah, right.
It's like- yeah, exactly.
Singing a song.
This is just very strange because Lips is very talkative in the movie, and he doesn't.
It's because
really
he's
feel like
asleep. I did
talking
actually
today.
say to Lips, you can't actually be on the radio
Yeah,
and not
and just-
talk.
and just
that's
sit there
not
and
really.
talk.
Yeah,
that
we
doesn't
wanna
really
hear from
work.
you, man.
It's
Your
not like we're not
personality,
like hanging out. You're
his
actually-
personality in the movie is amazing. I mean, it really is multi-layered. There's all sorts of things going on. So it's very strange
Lips,
to
we
see a
need to
very
hear from you,
quiet
dude.
Lips.
We need to hear from Lips.
Yeah.
Well, everybody's doing all the talking. What
Okay,
do you
now
need to
look,
hear
you
from
talk.
me for?
Well, you're the front man. You're the lead
Did you
singer.
finally quit that job? Is it to the point where you don't have to do that job anymore?
That job I got fired because I wasn't there because I was doing tours.
Yeah. Okay.
And getting shit together. So no, I ended up working for my sister for a little while, and now that's getting shit canned too because I got too much work with the band. So it's all good.
That's it. That's awesome. That's good to hear.
You guys got any music gigs coming up?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, around here we could plug
April 6th, right?
Yeah.
at the Blender Theater. You
The
said?
Blender Theatre, the old
where's
Gramercy
that?
Park Theatre.
Okay. And the wedding scene,
Dude.
the wedding
wedding's-
reception.
It's uncomfortable because it's like.
But Tiziana, the manager, standing by the side of the stage, proudly looking on.
Yeah,
Remember
I
that?
mean-
It's like, yeah.
Well, they're there
Your
for a
family
wedding.
and your family is your family. You know, they support you. But even what we do, we know there's close family members that aren't into the Opie and Anthony show.
Right. So you
know.
wouldn't necessarily do it at the
Right.
wedding.
They love
yeah.
they love me for many different reasons than the actual radio show. So it's safe to say that even though there's an extended family at this wedding, they're not going to be all into the music.
Into a performance.
And I
live.
think you kind of showed that. with that scene.
But that was what we did, man.
Who was getting married, and then you guys decided to play a few songs for the wedding reception.
We
right?
want to explain that.
Well, Ivan wanted us to play at his wedding.
Right.
As simple as that. So
Yeah.
we loaded up the van, set up on a stage in that little hall, and we played his wedding.
Yeah, and there was
everybody who was at the party went outside.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh God!
There was like 3 people that were trying to get into it, like an older aunt figure.
Yeah, it was
looked
like an old Hungarian woman in their 60s.
Yeah, she looked like she's like the cool aunt that would go with anything. And
see, to me, that sounds like the Spinal Tap Air Force Base.
That's right. It was the same. It was exactly the same.
Yeah. It's but this is real life shit.
I mean,
But actually, we had a really great time. The two of the guys from Raven, the 2 brothers, John and Mark, came up to the wedding as well. And in fact, you can see Mark Gallagher standing behind Tiziana and Ivan. He was somewhat the best man.
yeah,
And
That's like the best man?
yeah.
somewhat.
Somewhat the best man. It's a new position.
yeah, he gave the bride away.
Yeah, but it was like you say, the parallels with Spinal Tap were unbelievable. Like I said, my cameraman, my own crew didn't believe. I mean, their first song they ever wrote was called Thumb Hang, about the Spanish Inquisition. And it's like,
Yeah, that's
thumbs
like,
will twist, can you resist? Beware the names on the Inquisitor's list. I mean, like,
But at the end, it says that you guys are finally going to record Thumb Hang. Like you never actually recorded it?
No. The song was written in probably 1974 or something. No, we never recorded
Are you
it.
going to?
Yeah, we are for the movie
new album?
soundtrack.
Yeah, I was supposed to on the weekend, actually, but we'll see about that.
Do you guys feel like, as a band, you've gotten better and stronger over the years? Have you changed a lot?
Actually, we've changed very little, and I think what's really amazing is because of all the history, the stage has become such a comfortable place.
Yeah.
You lose all inhibitions. You have complete 100% confidence. So on that level, that definitely got better. You learn how to pace yourself properly so you're not dead by the end of the show.
Right.
And you're able to bring it to that high point instead of give it all in the first 10 seconds.
What were you thinking, like, when you first started? Obviously, the type of music you did was, it was very, very popular. It was cutting edge. As the years went by and you noticed styles of music changing, you go, you don't fucking play that shit. Like, was it depressing to see what was becoming popular and think, wow, now we're really fucked as far as
grunge?
No, we were an underground type of band, and we stuck true to exactly what we are. We've never even thought for a second to tailor or change our music to try to keep up with trends. We're not a trend band. Mm-hmm. If anything, we set trends rather than follow them.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes, though, it must have been, like, frustrating, though, to see the music changing and go.
Yeah, well, we put out albums during the alternative days called Absolutely No Alternative, or instead of Unplugged, we called our album Plugged In Permanent. It was always something to
a little
take
twist.
digs.
It's just a little twist.
Such
Little
a fine
digs.
line
Just
between
stupid and clever.
Stupid and clever.
And I liked how the amps went up to 11 in this.
Well,
movie,
but
by
that's
the
a
way.
real true thing. Like after Spinal Tap.
Yeah, they all go to 11.
Yeah,
right?
You go into studios, there's equipment that goes to 11 because equipment companies now are in on the joke.
just went
It's
with
like-
And everyone wants it one more louder.
That's one more. Just one more. So
now
why
you
not
gotta
just
go-
make 10 louder? No, but this one goes one more.
Well, now you got to go 12. Where does
You
it
know
end?
what's amazing is
Where does it end?
that Spinal Tap, right, is your favorite movie. So it's like,
It has to.
One of them, anyway.
It's
but it's like funny how you love that film, and yet you also are not that different from characters in the film.
Could be none more true.
None more. It's one of those movies that if you're in a band, and regardless, if you're just knocking around with your friends in a band, or, I've heard Van Halen comment on Spinal Tap, like, oh my God, they're watching it, and it's like, this movie isn't funny. It's too true. To be funny.
Well, that's the whole point. The whole point of Spinal Tap was to be as realistic as possible, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I've lived that shit for 30 years, man. And all they did was roll the film, and it's almost the same.
Right. Yeah, that's what's amazing. I mean, that's real.
Mm-hmm.
What you guys did was the real deal. And they were actors,
That's right. Well, what's really interesting is like that's a movie. When people saw it, they didn't think it was a documentary. They thought it was fake, right?
Listen, there are parallels. You see the guy with the cucumber down his pants.
Yeah.
Well, and getting checked with the border and stuff. Well, that just reminded me of when when I went through the border and my vibrator got found in my guitar case, and the guy opens my guitar case and looks at me, and I'm going,
I play.
What's this
play
for?
with it. I mean, they're not going to believe it, right? No. Yeah.
Most of the guys you bump into, because they showed you at the festival in the beginning of the movie, talking to Carmine Appice and talking to, and one of you guys, was it you that hunted down Tommy Aldrich, who I like?
It was me.
Okay, because I like the old fucking Blizzard of Oz, and I don't know if he was on Dire Man.
I'm a guitar player who loves drumming. So my favorite aspect of metal bands are the drummers.
What do you think of Bill
That's
Ward?
why I got the greatest drummer in the world in my band.
What do you think of Bill Ward?
Amazing.
Good. He was underrated, right, compared to a lot of the other big drummers.
He had a very individual, somewhat of a style. You could definitely tell there were roots based in jazz, and that's how you can tell the difference between someone who knows how to play and someone who's just a drummer.
Yeah. We should play him. We should play him that song.
Which song?
You know, the song from a band that is still trying to make it as well.
There's a band.
It's a very similar situation that you guys are in.
It's a band
Extremely
called
similar.
Foundry, and they are.
And they're not going to have a documentary.
They won't have a documentary.
They're not going to have the happy ending like Anvil is having.
Unfortunately,
and I want to get some expert opinions on this song.
We play this. We play for Slash. We played it for a few other people. We're just curious. To be honest, we are curious as to the opinion. Is this band good, or are they
dog
Jim,
shit?
who are these guys?
They're called Foundry.
Yeah.
The song is called Pendulum.
Pendulum. You want to hear it? Just a
A
little
piece
piece
of
of
it.
it.
Just a piece of it.
Sure, why not?
We'll get to the hook.
Jews of metal.
We'll get to the hook. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to play that for... You got it?
Okay.
Just a little taste. What do you think?
That had a cool beat.
I agree. The vocals were a little like the production value is not good either, but it is amazing what a good producer will do to.
Yeah, I think they can really pump up the
Producers-
production in that,
Producer
right?
can be everything.
Lips, what do you think of the song? I know you only heard like 20, 30 seconds.
I couldn't really tell it. The audio sounds so bad that
Isn't it
I mean,
horrific?
that will ruin anything.
Yeah.
You know, you could have Jimi Hendrix. If you recorded him like that, you'd go, "Hey, stay in your garage, dude."
You guys said one of the problems you had too when you were just starting out was like a lot of your older albums were recorded on they weren't produced well, or as far as the quality of the recordings go, and that definitely hurt.
Yeah.
It sure didn't help.
Yeah.
Yeah, that never helps.
That's when you have no money, man. When you got no money and no record company support, but you still got to keep going. You
But
can't
know what?
afford those
But
guys.
the songs were of the highest quality, though.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a
And the
label at
playing
all?
was amazing.
Did you guys ever have a label?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
You
we
did?
have many labels
Okay.
over the years.
We've outlived all of them.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, because what labels are left these days?
Another part of the documentary I liked, Robb's a painter.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh yeah, one painting.
what do you mean, oh yeah?
Well, like, as in, that was a big thing for us as we were filming the movie. It was like,
I actually liked his paintings.
his
in the
paintings are
movie.
amazing. His
You
paintings
know,
are
and I
amazing.
need to know what was the piece of duty. What do you use?
The
for
shit painting.
The shit painting. I don't want to call it the shit painting.
Well,
He's
that's
an
an
artist.
Yeah. Well,
I-
I can't wait to see this movie. I mean, I really wanted to see it before, but now that there's a shit painting,
Well,
Oh,
I
no,
gotta
the
see
shit
it,
painting,
man.
dude.
It's
is
a
insane.
it's a
Sounds
toilet
awesome.
bowl with one log in it, but you can feel the log.
But it's an oil painting with texture.
Right.
awesome.
It has texture.
How did you get the texture?
And his wife didn't want it in the regular house, so it's like in the stairwell going down to the basement. That's where he's allowed to put the painting.
I think
Wait a
that's
minute.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that thing, I took that picture of on a German motorway after I had extracted some product, and I took a picture of it.
And then Lips said,
and then
right?
it was Lips who talked me into making
That
that
into a painting?
painting. You know, he said, "Man, you got to make paintings. It'll be
gotta
fucking
paint
unbelievable." So I did, and it became a smash thing within the inners of my friends and stuff.
You know
and
what?
Sasha
Sorry.
talked me into showing the. Nobody ever really knew that I paint.
Yeah.
You know?
Let me
And-
tell you something about that. When this documentary does very well at the box office, that painting is going to be worth a motherfucker. amount of money.
He's already been offered money, right, Rob?
Yeah,
How much
it's,
for that painting so far? And then no one has really seen the documentary yet.
No one's really seen it.
Because it's coming out in a week?
April 10th. April 10th, yeah.
But when more and more people see this documentary, that painting, the price is going to go way up.
Wait, hold on. Are you sure it's April 10th? We have April 3rd.
Oh, no, it's April 10th here. Yeah,
okay.
April 3rd is wrong. It's actually April 10th, New York and LA, then it does a national rollout.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you ever sell the shit painting?
Absolutely not.
No.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to give it to a gift to a very, very, very close dear friend of mine at some point.
Okay. And he doesn't just do paintings of, like, logs and toilet bowls. His other stuff.
It's amazing. His landscapes, like Edward Hopper, they're beautiful.
I actually really liked some of the stuff they were showing
actually,
in the film.
if there's an art gallery anywhere that would be more than willing to just show the work without selling it, I'm right interested in that.
Does that include the ship painting?
Sure.
That should be the only painting in one of the rooms. You should get like
its wing.
Yeah, you should get a gallery that has 2 or 3 rooms and the one painting in one room.
That's
with a lot of lights.
Yeah. Paul Stanley's doing it. I mean,
you
Paul
should be able to
Stanley's out
figure that
doing
out.
He's got his art stuff, and fucking Lars is a big art collector.
Yeah, maybe you can sell one day.
Yeah, we'll just see if he can.
Can I say one thing in Metallica's defense? Just because you mentioned Lars, like when I called up to do the interview with Lars, he's got like 5,000 people that you have to get through. We get to the final assistant, and the assistant's like, okay, you've got 5 minutes. He's waiting for 3 other interviews. Lars Ulrich sat down, right? For 35 minutes, he went on about these guys. I mean, literally, you could not say. He was so fantastic, and it was like, I got to just do a shout out to those guys, because as much as he's saying, they should have picked up Anvil for tour, they really, like, Lars really went out of his way.
It wasn't
out
even
of his way.
in criticism of Metallica, because we love those guys. It was more like, was there any
Generally.
feeling from you guys, like, hey man, they could have brought us out? Was there anything?
No. You have to understand the business, the way it works. That if you want to be in a support position, it's either you buy your way on, or you're got to be worth ticket sales. One of the two. So you need to be really out there and happening before you're worthy of the position, because they need you to bring in ticket sales. Otherwise, I mean, then what are you doing there?
You buy your way on, like, is that how it is at Ozfest too? You have to pay a certain amount of money to be on.
Absolutely, that's how the headliners are able to be able to go out on tour, and that's how they're actually making money. All the support bands. That's what the whole idea of calling it support band. It's financial support or ticket sales support. That's what it really means.
I remember the shit fucking club owners giving you tickets and going, okay, sell the tickets, and then fucking sell them to your friends or whatever. Hey, you didn't really have that many people.
Off each one.
Yeah. You didn't really have that many people tonight. You'd have to put your own guy at the door with the clicker. This fucking club owner would always try to jap you.
There's some great club owner stuff in this film.
Every club owner of every club was a piece of shit.
Who was fighting the club owner? Lips?
It was me.
That rule, man. You got right in his face.
Good.
How much were you trying to get from the guy? It didn't seem like it was a lot.
No, it wasn't. It was only
100 euros, right?
a couple $100, but
What is that in?
We did
It's the principle of it.
That's right.
Well, no, it was the fuel money to get to the next gig.
Gig, right?
Why didn't the woman who was running the show fucking book your train tickets in advance? It was driving me nuts.
That was driving us completely.
Dude,
Why
we were
did you
trying to
guys have
understand
train
that.
tickets
How do
for
you
it?
think we felt? The crew, we were like, this tour is being organized by a total lunatic. On one hand, it was great for the movie, but on the other hand, it was like she was putting them through hell.
Yeah.
It was really hard, right? What was going on with that, dude? I mean, I never understood
You're
that.
watching the train go away, and that was
That's
their
right.
train,
That's
and now
right.
they're sitting there like, what? Now what? We're
Yeah,
in the middle of nowhere.
you understand that English was not her first, but her seventh language.
Right, which made it a little, made it rough.
Why didn't she fucking buy train tickets? Like, so you guys would know. All right, we get an 11 o'clock train. Let's leave the hotel at 10. We'll be fine.
Right.
Well, I mean, we were going to a festival in the Lorca Festival in Spain, and that's what happened. And next thing I know, I'm calling Twisted Sister's manager, help!
Amazing.
So did you guys get to the festival?
Yeah, we did. We did.
Would they throw you on another train, a later train?
Yeah, we were able to catch another train.
Yeah, but also then what happened?
I mean, Europe
is
is very, very connected by trains. I mean, the trains run all day and all night. So,
But it was disappointing
wasn't that
to catch
big.
that one.
Yeah, it was just disappointing. The fact that, I mean, we had all the equipment. You see that we're carrying our guitars, drum parts, everything, and we literally ran from the bus into the train station to see that. And as you can see, Rob's standing there with his shirt off. It's boiling hot. We're in the south of Spain.
Fuck, was I pissed off?
And man, he wanted to wring her neck, man.
What was her reasoning? Like, what did she say? What did you guys leave?
Just
out?
miscalculation.
She had no concept of what we all know as time.
So would you leave the hotel at 10:30 for an 11 o'clock train and miss it like that shit?
Exactly.
Dumb stuff.
Yeah, she had no idea.
And when we were editing the movie, right, Lips would be coming to LA looking at stuff, and I would be going, dude, look at this. You need to fire that woman. Like, sit down and watch, and there would be 10 of us going, fire this woman now. We'd show like 40 minutes of footage. Because, what was great about them was they were like, you know what, even though it's a disaster, at least they're touring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was still that sense of, like you said, right?
Let's put it this way. Without her help, it would have been a pretty boring movie. I mean, we got to
it up with our fuck-ups.
Yeah, exactly. And the more the fuck-ups, the better it was for the movie.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't realize, but at the time, you didn't realize
I mean, it
it.
might have been painful and a little bit
was
annoying, but at the end of the day, it's all okay.
I think as far as
fun, we did have a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
I think as far as
there were good
management
shows.
goes, though, especially after having shitty management for so many years, can't you
No
guys
management
identify
for any years.
like shitty management after so many years?
Well, there hasn't been really any management.
Really?
Well, also,
Who would take care of
really,
things?
I did.
You did?
But what happened in these particular cases is, she decided that, she told me, stop your worry, don't worry. And, normally I would be going, okay, we've got to be at this train station. I'd have all the logistics set up. But she kept on assuring me that she had it together.
She certainly didn't,
Don't
did
worry.
she? She certainly didn't have it together.
So you felt like
it was basically the first time we had began working with her. Generally speaking, I would book all the shows, and I mean, she did a great job in the level that we're given like 35, 40 dates, and only 2 of them fell out. And the only reason that 2 of them fell out is there were riots in France. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the best
we were
part
told not to enter the
But
country.
the best part was when we, the crew, got the tour itinerary, right? She would, like, book a show in Paris, right, on a Tuesday. And then Wednesday, we'd have to be in Portugal, right? So the fuel costs. And then, like, on the Thursday, we'd be in Rome. So it was like booked, like how do you describe it? Like a demented monkey throwing darts at a ball.
Yeah.
It was like, let's just take a map of Europe and we'll just throw it down.
There's a way to do it where logistically
That's
it
right.
works
You can
out.
figure it out a little better.
So
Right.
halfway round, it was like there was no
Amazing.
money because of the petrol that it cost to go
shit.
these distances, man. So they'd finish a show like at 11 o'clock. They'd get in the truck and they'd drive like 14 hours to the next show, and then it would rinse and repeat for like
Amazing.
4 weeks. The crew, right? These so-called seasoned Hollywood veterans, right? They just couldn't deal with it. They were 15 years younger. They couldn't keep up with these
They're like,
guys,
fuck
man. It was,
that. Yeah, speaking of that, Lips, do you have a story where you wanted to just quit?
No.
What, you don't have a story where it came close where you're like, you know what, fuck this. Like something crazy that went on? Club owner, bad travel, just something that really got to your soul, and you said, you know what, I can't do this anymore.
No, there was only one time where I got really pissed off. I had a sound man living in my apartment, and he rifled through all my drawers until he found my hidden money and stole all my money. I was really pissed off because I'd given him a place to stay.
Sure.
It was our sound man, and to me it was like, this is connected to the band. If it wasn't for the band, I wouldn't have somebody stealing out of my fucking drawers, you know?
Why did you ever get your money back from him?
No, I never got the money back, but I was really pissed off. But I came to realize, no, what the fuck am I mad at the band for? It's my fault I let this piece of shit into my house.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that was the only moment where I might have crossed my mind that look at the things that happened as a result of being in a band. But other than that, the band itself, I'm extraordinarily proud of it. I feel as though it's always been successful because, I mean, you know, it's how you look at what success is. Success is being able to write songs, put it on CDs, and have your fans listen to you and get to go play live.
Right.
I've been doing it for 30 years, and without major record company help or anything, you know, it's all been on our own terms. It's great, man.
Yeah, a lot of people unfortunately don't see success that way, you know. They see it as
Well,
dollar
everything-
signs
everything
and-
is dollar
and
signs.
tickets,
Well,
sales and shit like that.
Yeah, but what about the success about enjoying your life?
Exactly, yeah, because a lot of people are miserable.
How many people hate going to their job?
Yeah.
I love going to my job.
Yeah.
And even if there's only one person in the club, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, you're still playing. You're having fun.
I'm on a stage tonight. What are you doing?
Exactly.
And I've seen that multiple times where the band has played to no one or 1 or 6 people.
Yeah.
And it's unbelievable, man. And that is why we all decided to make this movie, because we were just like, how could you, like, you must be doing it because you love it,
You know what?
if you're willing to go
Sasha,
through that.
stop rubbing it in. You like rubbing it in.
No, but like, it's true though.
You
Sorry,
keep
I'll
bringing
stop.
it up. It's like, okay.
Yeah, but you know
Playing
the
shithose
Hey,
with
listen.
one fucking bloke sitting there throwing shit at you. It's like, hey, dude.
All right, chill out. I'm sitting right next to you. You do realize that, right? One time is good. But you're up to like 10.
Every band plays to empty rooms.
Yes.
There is no such thing to be immune to that.
Yeah.
Every
This sounds
band
like my
comes
career,
with
man.
it.
I'm a
Right.
comedian.
Right.
This sounds like my career, man.
Yeah, you
I'm
played
always
fucking no
playing
one
shit gigs. I still play tons of shit gigs.
Yeah.
Hey, how many
Constantly.
original members were there in the band when you guys started? There was you guys, obviously, and how many guys were there when you first started?
Stumpy Peeps.
Four.
4-piece band. Now,
Why don't you guys talk about those two and what
Yeah,
happened?
the first
Oh, we
two
did.
guys.
We shot them, actually. We filmed
In the
them.
documentary?
Literally.
Yeah, but we did. They're going to be on the DVD, because actually when we had it in the movie, we had to take so much stuff out. We shot like 300 hours of footage for like
Right.
an 80-minute movie.
Right.
So there was so many things that like.
What are
fell
they
by the
doing
wayside.
now?
Why did the original 2 guys leave? That's
Yeah.
like the first 2 guys.
Burnout.
Yeah, they just basically couldn't. They weren't lifers, you know. They were really not in it for the real reasons, you know. They were in it for, like, you know, Dave was in it just to fuck pussy and and drink beer. That's
Right.
And be
A lot of people do get into it for that.
That's admirable.
Those aren't good reasons.
That was really his major goal, you know.
Right.
And Ian, you know, he just
Yeah, and he was good at it. Dave was really good at it.
Banged a lot of chicks.
he was a pussy magnet deluxe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, bizarrely, the original bass player, Ian Dixon, is like one of the North America's leading model makers. So, like, say you have like a Predator figurine and it's busted and it's like a high-end thing, you send it to Ian and he'll fix it for you, right? Also, he
fixes models?
He fixes models and he builds dinosaurs. He built the Triceratops in the foyer of the Baltimore Museum of Science.
Really?
Right? Like, he builds, like, so he has this whole other career that he began when he was on the road with you guys, right? I remember being on the road.
Yeah, we used to do shit like that on the road.
He would make models.
We'd,
wow.
build models and fuck around just to burn up time. Right?
Did he make
You
models?
couldn't make it up.
As well as
You
bring
couldn't make-
hamsters and gerbils with us.
Actually, a lot of that.
Did he make models of pussy for the other guy to fuck?
Yeah, why didn't he do it?
Actually, all this stuff is actually in the book. There's an Anvil book.
Oh, nice.
So, you know, you can read all about it.
All right.
Have you guys kept up with like the digital stuff as far as digital delivery of music, websites to keep your fans informed or shit like that? Like, have you delved into
like
that?
downloads and shit like that.
Yeah.
We're learning about that. We're
Yeah,
opening
yeah.
Stuff. Yeah, we're not really completely in that. Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
the record
'cause-
labels are getting cut out. I mean,
I
a lot
know
of the
it's
labels are
very
getting cut
hard
out.
now for especially independents. Usually just fucking pump it out digitally these days. Not
Well,
even
right
a
now,
hard
you know,
disk.
things have changed dramatically for
Yeah.
our band. We have a real manager now. We're for real.
they have a great manager.
Rick Sales, who manages Slayer, Mastodon, and Bullet for My Valentine, manages Anvil now. We've got a real agent. We have real labels. We have Sony in Japan and the UK. I believe EMI for America is going to. So all this is coming on board. And they'll put us into that.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll.
So weird to
figure
hear
it
all
out,
that
yeah.
because where the movie ended, you're like, oh my god, what's
Holy
going to happen
shit.
to these guys? Right?
It's good, it's good to know. It's actually good
It's
to
sort
know.
of good. It's definitely good to know because you definitely feel for these two in
Well,
the
the-
movie. We should get them out of
The
here.
documentary is called
Anvil.
It's called Anvil.
Anvil.
The Story of Anvil.
Yes.
And in New York and Los Angeles, because we're heard all over the U.S. and Canada, you can catch it April 10th.
And then there's a rollout. But if you go to anvilmovie.com, it'll tell you when it's coming to your city. And it rolls out all over April and May.
I
Yeah,
highly
I loved it,
recommend
man.
it. I
I
loved
loved
it.
it.
Jimmy loved it. 97% positive reviews on RottenTomatoes.com. It's a must see. I think if you're into the rock thing, especially, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And if
And
you're a
it's-
Spinal Tap fan,
Well, or if you been in bands and
Yep,
kicked
yep.
around, done
Yep.
that shit.
Yep.
It's really cool. That's great, man.
Thank you guys.
Awesome, man.
That's awesome.
Thanks for having us up here.
No
Yeah,
problem.
thanks very much, guys.
Well, good luck too, man. We will help
best
you
of
help
luck.
you get what you want.
Absolutely.
yeah, definitely. All right.
Awesome.
We're gonna take a
Cool,
quick
man.
break. Continue.
Okay.